What if the moment you fear the most is actually the one designed to set you free? What if the place you've been avoiding, the personal wilderness, the territory inside you, filled with uncertainty, risk, pressure, and truth, is the very place where your strength, your courage, and your purpose have been waiting patiently for you to arrive? Think about that for a second. Think about all the moments in your life when you stood face to face with something that shook you, something that made your heart race, something that made you doubt yourself, something that felt too big, too wild, too unpredictable. You didn't know what would happen next. You didn't have a map. You didn't have a guarantee. All you had was you. And maybe that's exactly why those moments mattered. Maybe the reason they scared you is because they held a piece of your transformation. Maybe the fear wasn't a warning to stay away, it was an invitation to step forward. An invitation to meet the parts of yourself you've never fully seen. Because somewhere deep inside you, beyond the noise, beyond the doubts, beyond the version of you that tries to stay safe, there is another version, a powerful one, a clear one, a courageous one, just waiting to be uncovered. And that version only appears when you walk into the wild. Most people spend their whole lives running from the wild, running from the unknown, running from the moments that make their voice shake and their heart pound. They chase comfort. They chase predictability. They chase the illusion that staying safe means staying successful. But what if comfort is the real danger? What if predictability is the real trap? What if the walls you built to protect yourself have actually become the very walls that are holding you back? It's easy to stay in the familiar, but nothing grows there. Nothing evolves there. Nothing awakens there. The familiar keeps you small. The familiar keeps you limited. The familiar keeps you repeating the same days, the same habits, the same fears, the same excuses. But the wild, your wild, is different. The wild doesn't care about your excuses. The wild doesn't care about your doubts. The wild doesn't care about the reasons you think you're not ready yet. The wild only responds to one thing: your willingness to step into it. Your willingness to face the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. Your willingness to let go of who you were so you can make room for who you can become. You see, every transformation begins with a confrontation, a moment where you stand in front of something bigger than you and realize that this moment is about you, not your past, not your mistakes, not your failures, not what people said, not what you lost, not what you feared. It's about who you choose to be right now, in this moment, in this decision, in this single breath. So, let me ask you again. What if the moment you fear the most is the moment that will give you everything you've been searching for? The courage, the clarity, the focus, the hunger, the strength, the power to rise again, the power to see your life differently, the power to reclaim your identity, the power to break the patterns that have kept you stuck for far too long. You've been waiting for a sign, but maybe the sign has been waiting for you. There's something beautiful about being pushed into the wild, something raw, something honest, something real, because the wild doesn't lie to you. The wild reveals you. It shows you your truth. It shows you your weakness. It shows you your strength. It shows you your potential. It shows you everything you've been hiding, everything you've been denying, everything you thought you couldn't handle, but you can. You always could. You were simply never forced to discover it. Sometimes life pushes you into situations not to break you, but to break the version of you that was never meant to stay. Sometimes life removes people, opportunities, and comfort not to punish you, but to prepare you. Sometimes life puts you face to face with fear so that you finally stop running from yourself. And sometimes life brings you to the edge of the wild because the person you're meant to be cannot exist in the life you're trying to hold on to. Think about the moments that shaped you the most. They weren't easy. They weren't comfortable. They weren't predictable. They weren't safe. They were wild. They were chaotic. They were unknown. But they forced you to grow. They forced you to rise. They forced you to dig deeper than you ever had before. They forced you to confront your beliefs, your habits, your fears, your identity. Those moments were the turning points. Those moments were the beginnings of every strength you now carry. The wild teaches you things comfort never will. It teaches you how to breathe when everything feels uncertain. It teaches you how to trust yourself when the world becomes quiet. It teaches you how to move forward even when doubt tries to pull you back. It teaches you how to see beauty inside chaos. It teaches you how to stand tall even when your legs are shaking. It teaches you how to believe in yourself even when you have no proof yet. And the truth is this: you will never know how strong you are until the wild demands that strength from you. Maybe that's why you're here right now. Maybe that's why something brought you to this moment, this message, this exact time in your life. Because deep inside, you know you're standing at the edge of something. Not something small, not something ordinary, something massive, something life-changing, something that will require the strongest, most honest, most courageous version of you. And you're feeling the pull, not because you're weak, but because you're ready. The wild does that. It calls out to the part of you that's been sleeping, the part of you that's tired of shrinking, the part of you that's tired of pretending, the part of you that's tired of living a life that doesn't reflect your potential, the part of you that knows you're meant for more. You feel it. You've always felt it. That quiet voice inside that whispers, you were born for something greater. That voice gets louder when you get closer to your destiny. And right now, it's speaking louder than ever. But here's the truth no one tells you. Destiny requires courage. Purpose requires risk. Growth requires discomfort. Success requires becoming someone new. Nothing changes until you do. You can't hold on to your old fears and expect a new life. You can't hold on to your old habits and expect a new identity. You can't stay in the familiar and expect something extraordinary to unfold. Life doesn't work that way. Dreams don't work that way. Purpose doesn't work that way. There will come a moment when you must look at yourself honestly and say, I can't go back. Not to who I was, not to what I allowed, not to the excuses, not to the fear, not to the hesitation. There will come a moment when you realize that staying small hurts more than failing, that holding back hurts more than trying, that living in fear hurts more than facing it. And that moment is the beginning of your transformation. You are standing in that moment right now, not by accident, not by chance, but because something inside you is tired of being caged. Something inside you is tired of living half awake. Something inside you is tired of waiting for the perfect time, the perfect chance, the perfect version of yourself to suddenly appear. Let me make something clear. The perfect moment is now. The perfect version is the one who decides to change. The perfect opportunity is the one you create when you face the wild instead of running from it. And here's the reward. Here's why you should stay with this journey, why you should listen until the end, why you should give yourself this moment. Because the person you will meet on the other side of this wild is someone you have never met before. Someone stronger, someone braver, someone clearer, someone more focused, someone more alive. Someone who doesn't break under pressure but rises because of it. Someone who doesn't chase validation but chases purpose. Someone who doesn't fear the unknown but steps toward it with intention. That version of you is waiting, not in comfort, not in safety, not in the predictable, but in the wild, in the challenge, in the moment of fear, in the moment of truth, in the moment when everything inside you says, turn back, but your spirit says, keep going. That is where life begins. That is where identity is rebuilt. That is where destiny is shaped. And that is where you discover exactly who you were meant to be. You are not here to live a quiet, small, invisible life. You are not here to repeat the same days over and over until you forget why you even started dreaming. You are not here to let fear be the author of your story. You are not here to survive. You are here to rise, to grow, to evolve, to expand. To stand face to face with the wild parts of your life and say, I am not afraid. And even if you are afraid, you still move. You still step forward. Because bravery is not the absence of fear, it is the decision that something else matters more. Your future matters more. Your purpose matters more. Your growth matters more. Your becoming matters more. You don't run from the wild. You let the wild reshape you into someone unshakable. So stay until the end. Stay because this is your moment to break open. Stay because by the time this journey is complete, you will not be the same. Stay because the person you will meet on the other side of this message is the person you've been waiting your whole life to become. Stay because you deserve a life that feels alive. Stay because you deserve a future that reflects your potential. Stay because the world hasn't seen the real you yet, and it's time